are listening to African Father in America podcast by Javan Okelo, live from Seattle, Washington, USA.
Greetings, beautiful people. My name is Javan Okelo. I am excited to be here with you for another amazing episode of the African Father in America podcast. Today, I am truly privileged to be joined by Nas Judy, who is an incredible creator. But Nas Judy is also a nurse and one of the people that helped me make Madaraka Festival possible this year. Nas Judy, just go ahead and say hello before we begin the show.
Hello, guys. Yes, I'm Nas Judy.
Excellent. I'm just so happy that you made the time for us to connect. I know how busy you are, so this means a lot to me personally. Now, as usual, for those who join the African Father in America podcast on a day-to-day basis, we do this Monday to Friday. We've been doing it for the last 3 years, so we have a small community of people that follow this show and this content consistently. So we have a proverb, and that's how we ground ourselves. This is one of my favorite ways to start my day, with an African proverb. So here we go. Don't buy a goat because of its voice only. Don't buy a goat because of its voice only. This proverb is from Sierra Leone in West Africa. And I have 3 nuggets of wisdom that I am going to share with you quickly. And then I am going to invite Nas Judy to also speak about this proverb briefly before we continue with the rest of the show. So the first nugget of wisdom says that don't judge a book by its cover. Don't judge a book by its cover. The second nugget of wisdom says that appearances can be deceiving. What you see is not the whole picture. You need to dig a little bit deeper, And then the third nugget of wisdom says that look beyond the surface to see the true value of something or someone. Do your own research. We are living in the era of social media where our accounts are being hacked. There are people that just admire us for what they see, but they really don't know who we are. And sometimes people come at you in ways that are very disrespectful and uncomfortable, but if they knew who you are, they would actually approach you differently. So this beautiful proverb is just a reminder that we should not judge something or someone based on superficial appearances. Nas Judy, what do you think about it yourself?
Truly, look can be deceiving. That's the first thing I'll say about this. When I first saw that proverb, I was like, wow, this is exactly the meaning of look can be deceiving. Because most of the times, of course, we make decision based on appearance. It's just like a human thing. Even like when it comes to dating, most of the time, men, the first thing they will look at is appearance, but appearance can be very deceiving. So we find ourselves making decisions based on appearances, and then later you realize you didn't consider all these other important factors like person characteristic, the traits, and what, or maybe it's a business or it's a school. You just take your child to a school because it looks beautiful or it's hyped or it's looking like a rich kid, but you don't get to really learn what exactly it is. And also, like you have said, in the era of social media, most of the time we are just quick to go by what we see, but most of the time what is displayed is not really what is on the ground. What is on the ground is totally different sometimes.
Yeah, I love that. Man, I see that quite a few people have joined us for the show already. We are live on multiple platforms. We are live on YouTube, Facebook, X, formerly Twitter. We're also live on LinkedIn, and also on AMP. AMP is a new, social audio app that Amazon recently launched. And I love using it because you can also play music in that app particularly, but I just love it for podcasting. So wherever you... Oh, no, I'll send you a link so that you can join it. The beauty of AMP is they pay creators,
Oh, really?
Yeah, they pay creators, and it's only available in the US at the moment, so it's still very new. uh, I know some of the leaders, the people who are behind it, you know. So if you're interested in using AMP, I'll send you a link to check it out. And also, um, I love AMP. I feel like you'd be a perfect creator for AMP because you can play Sauti Soul, all kinds of music that are available on Amazon Music is also there, you know. You could be having a conversation with a group of friends and you're playing music through that app, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so one of my favorite, first of all, I want to ask everyone who is watching, particularly on YouTube, take a minute and subscribe to my YouTube channel. That's one of the ways that you can support this show. Now I want to talk just a little bit. I want to take our conversation further. If you're just joining us, my special guest today is Nurse Judy, who is a professional nurse by night, and she's also an influencer, you know, a beauty and lifestyle influencer. She's an incredible mom, and also she's one of the influencers and leaders here in the African diaspora that helped me make Madaraka Festival what it was. This is the 9th year of Madaraka Festival, and it was the most successful Madaraka Festival because we did 6 cities, you know, and that was a lot of work. I could not do it on my own. So we'll talk a little bit about that. But for now, I want you, Nas Judy, to think about a story around when you are 8 to 12 years old that continues to inspire you today, so that you can gain the courage and just the drive to do what you do. For me, when I was about 8 years old back in Kisumu, Kenya, my mother gave me a bicycle and asked me to help her distribute milk and bread in our neighborhood. You know, when you live in the ghetto, a loaf of bread was divided into 4. You know, then it's sold into, you know, for literally 4 families would share that same loaf of bread. Cooking oil was also divided into smaller pieces. So my job was to distribute all these products in the ghetto, you know, and this really gave me a lot of confidence in dealing with people, a lot of courage in building relationships, and networking in a way that if you look at Madaraka today, the way it is, it really came from those years of learning and being around my mother, who was a second wife in a polygamist marriage, and she had to be creative in order for us to survive, you know. So share something similar, something that when you look back, you say that, you know, this story, this moment is really why I wake up every day today.
Wow. Okay. I don't even know whether I have just like a one particular moment that, because I think for me it's just like my whole childhood and the challenges and growing up in poverty is one thing that really drives me to keep working hard, to keep putting in the work and effort. Because one thing for sure, I fear poverty. Because growing up in poverty, oh my God, you don't want that to happen to you again or to your generation. I'm constantly reminding myself that I'm in the journey to break the chains of poverty because I know what it is like to grow up in poverty. So I really don't have like a particular moment, but I have a few moments that I can talk about. Uh, there's a time I remember when I was around in class 4. I'm around what age?
I have no idea, but just keep going. I
Yeah,
think you're
I
maybe you're around 8 actually, because my 8 9, my oldest daughter is in 4th grade and she's 9 years old. So yeah,
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 I
yeah.
think I must have been around the age of 8 and 10. So I remember because I come from a family of 4. By the way, to start with my story, I was born in Kenya in a small village called Kariandusi. I'm really usually very proud of where I've come from. And so I was raised by a single mom because I lost my dad when I was 4 years old. So there's this time my mom had gone for a seminar, and then she had left like a few like just a small shopping to take us through the week, and then it happened, some inconveniences happened and she did not come the day she was supposed to come, and that the day like everything got finished. So I remember we were just there outside our house. We don't have food. We're waiting for our mom. And wow, looking back at that moment, every time I keep feeling like that's the drive that has always made me want to work so hard, because I wouldn't want to be at a point where even basic, the basic are such a struggle. It's a challenge. So there are so many moments like those that make me want to keep going. And then one of the other thing is growing up with a mom who was like HIV positive, and she was public about it. I remember actually she came public about it when we were very young, and when the stigma was real. Like these days, people really don't care about HIV most of the time. I think actually you'll find people fearing pregnancy more than HIV. So anyway, um, growing up with my mom and taking her to clinics, it's also the reason why it inspired me to get into nursing. Just taking care of my mom, taking her to clinics, wanting to understand which are these tests being done on her. And every time like she would fall sick, I was the one who was like the caregiver. And actually I think that's where I got my passion and drive to get into what I currently do in nursing. So that's just one of the moments to show how and what inspired me to become a nurse.
Well, we should talk a bit about nursing, but I just love the stories you shared with us, and I now have a better understanding of really where where your energy and your commitment to your craft and your community as well comes from. But I want you to share with us what it is like to be a nurse here in the US, because I think a big part of your following on social media are also people who are interested in becoming nurses. And I just want you to take a moment, paint a picture of what it is like to be a nurse here in the US, like why that is important to you, but also how you've impacted people's lives, because I feel like so many people have learned from you and they are now building a career in the US health system because of the content that you create.
True. Thank you. So yeah, I remember growing up, I really wanted to come to the US, even not just as a nurse, but I always wanted to say, when I grow up, I must go to the US. I didn't even know what I'm coming to do to the US. But anyway, fast forward, I do my nursing in Kenya, and then I realized, yes, it was amazing, but uh, I came to learn that, of course, if I come to do my nursing in America, there are going to be more opportunities and more growth for me. Because comparing, like the minute here in US you say you're a registered nurse, it's such a big deal. In Kenya, we are not appreciated. We are underpaid. We are overloaded with a lot, especially when you work in the biggest big private hospital. You're gonna find yourself with a lot of workload. You're not well compensated. So that's one of the things that made me start my journey to come to America, because I could see I had a mentor who had come before me, and I could see how her life like really changed drastically. She had worked in Kenya as a nurse for like 30 years, and you could see there was no growth for her at all. And then she comes to America, and within 2 years there was so much growth, like in terms of her career and even financially. Because America, honestly, the people who are here keep complaining about the nursing here. It's actually this life no balance. Because the people who are born here, you'll find so many nurses really complain, saying, you know, the pay is not much. But people who come from Africa, if you come here, you really appreciate what these people pay you. And what I like about the nursing here, it's so diverse. You're not limited to just um, bedside or just being a nurse. You can progress, like from being a registered nurse, you can do your nurse practitioner. You can move away from just bedside and do travel nursing. There's no travel nursing in Africa. There's a lot of things you can venture in as a nurse here in America. And also, like, the money you are able to make here as a nurse, you're able to grow yourself, even to start like to invest or start a business on the side, which was not something that would be possible as a nurse in Africa. Like in Africa, you are able to make just enough money, probably just to pay your bills. And sometimes it's not even enough. You find yourself, you're being paid, and you're still every month to month, you're on those money loan apps because the money is not enough at all. But other than the money, the growth and the opportunities here are just great.
I love that. I love that. Yeah, so many lessons for nurses here and people who are born here and they take nursing as a career. I agree that a lot of them, well, a lot of people, not even just nurses, but a lot of people here don't see the privilege that they have, you know. And so, even with Madaraka Festival, one of the things that stood out for me across all the cities where Kenyans were the majority at the events that we attended, all the venues ran out of drinks, you know, because Kenyans have purchasing power in the US. So some of the venue owners were asking me, so who are these people? Where do they get all this money? They drank everything, you know.
And by then, I think I noticed when Kenyans come here. Anyway, Kenyans everywhere they go, they're very aggressive. They will really work hard, but also when it comes to party, hey, Kenyans are gonna spend on alcohol.
Yeah, they don't play around. They don't.
They
They,
don't.
yeah, they save to have a good time, and the
Yeah.
Kenyans work hard. If a Kenyan is somewhere, you will notice. You will know that, you know, there's a Kenyan over there. You know, recently. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, because I wanted to say, like, actually, I realized there are Kenyans who come here. They put in the work. They're so hardworking. You find that they come here and even start opportunities that Americans didn't know existed. Like there are so many Kenyans who are coming here and starting all these group homes. Like when you go to Seattle, not so many like white people own the group homes. It's Kenyans. These
Yeah,
group homes
Kenyans.
for caring for the old
Right,
people, the aged
right.
care. So Kenyans are very aggressive. Wherever they go, they just grab the opportunities and they become so aggressive about it. And it's something very good.
Yeah, it's unique. It's unique. I was saying earlier that there's a friend from high school. We were actually not friends. We were just in the same high school, and he visited Seattle. He was doing an exam here because it took a very special, you know, like career path where he's controlling the electric grid. You know, in Kenya, sometime Nakuru has electricity, and Eldoret does not have electricity. Sometime Kisumu has electricity and Nairobi does not have electricity. So he was the person controlling that, like one of those people. So he came to understand how he could do that in the US. And he didn't know anyone. So someone from high school gave him my information, and somehow we got connected. And he didn't have a US number. And I explained to him, you go and sit at this, park and ride, and just wait for me. If I'm late for 15 minutes, it's okay. But I'm telling you, he got there, and Kenyans, just as we know it, within a few minutes, 3 different people were calling me that, there's a Kenyan here that is waiting for you. And another person was calling me, there's a Kenyan here that is waiting for you. So he was able to make friends, and everybody wanted to help him. Everybody felt like, oh, if you're waiting for someone, he needs to come right now. You know what I mean? So Kenyans just
Yeah.
have a way, to connect and quickly
Make you
build
connected.
friendships.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I also just want to check in with our viewers and listeners. We are here for another episode of the African Father in America podcast, and clearly we are having a great time. My guest today is Nurse Judy, and Nurse Judy has shared with us a little bit about her story, a little bit about her nursing career, a little bit about why she does not like poverty at all and why she works so hard. And I want to create space for you, Nurse Judy, so that you can now just talk to us about a project that you're currently pushing. What is it that if anybody is watching or listening and they really want to support you, they really love your story, and what they want is how can I support, and also how can I stay connected with Nurse Judy? Speak to those two things real quick.
Okay, to start with how you can stay connected with me, most of the time I'm active on social media, to be specific, Instagram. I think Instagram is my favorite place. I have tried TikTok, But sometimes I go to TikTok and I find it so ghetto and so all over the place, and I just come back to I come back to Instagram. But it's a good platform, but I prefer Instagram. So that's where I connect with most of my audience. I'm quite influential on Instagram, by the way. So you should follow me there. I really make good content on Instagram. Let me just brag or give myself flowers. You'll find content that is gonna help you around health, around nursing, especially like the nurses who are looking to come to America. I would encourage you to start your journey to come to America. And if you need like some sort of guidance, I always help with that. It depends. I already have like content, a lot of content on how you can start your journey to America using agency, or you can do a self-sponsored process. And well, when it comes to self-sponsored process, I encourage you to use the videos that I have made for you to be able to do that. But if you're not able to do that, I already have like a website I created where you can pay some fee for you to be able to get the guidance for how to go about it. And also I help with people to get hospitals that can do a green card sponsorship for you. So you can connect with me on Instagram, and if you're interested in that kind of process, I can help with that. For currently something I'm working on, I would say it's YouTube. I have two things I'm working on. I'm working on YouTube. That's what I want to be consistent there, because I feel like I have a lot to share with people, and Instagram is not enough. And I feel if I go on YouTube and try to grow the channel, would be a better channel to connect with more people and help more people. So please go on my YouTube channel, which is Nurse Judy Kenya. Subscribe, and I just recently started making content, but I have more and more in store for you. The other thing that I'm working on, it's not something that I want to talk about. You know, they say don't until it cooks. So until it cooks, that's when I would be ready to share about it and to push it. But yes, there's something else that I'm working on, and I'm really praying to God that it comes to fruition.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much. I want you to just speak about Madaraka Festival for a moment. How was it for you? How was it working with me and just the team to make Madaraka Festival year number 9 what it was?
Okay. First of all, let me say thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to work with you on the Madaraka Festival, which was such a success. It was such a great festival. First of all, wow, I don't even know how you were able to do it. Of course, you had like a big team that was behind you to support you, but the turnout, Simon, was great. Like even when we started working on it, when you first reached out, I didn't know like it was going to be such a big thing, because I'm used to like the events where yes, artists come and then we're just like in a small club. But this one, it ended up being like we filled that stadium in Seattle. What was the name again?
Benaroya Hall.
Oh my God, it was so
Yeah.
surreal. I got there and I'm like, wow, wow, that that was amazing. So anyway, it was amazing working with you too, where there was this festival that was bringing all Africans together. And I think we were just not Kenyans. I think I saw different communities, even like I met some Ethiopians there, I met some Ghanaians, some Nigerians, and even some whites. So you brought really like all African communities together to celebrate our culture, and bringing our biggest artists, King Kaka, Sauti Soul, and all that. It was just amazing. That's just something I would like to be part of over and over again.
Yeah, that's
And it was so
beautiful.
easy to work with you. You made it so easy to work with you. So you're an amazing person to work with, I would say.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I appreciate it too. I appreciate your support and the support of our whole community, for coming out, and it's true. It felt great being at Benaroya Hall, which was just announced as the best, concert venue in the Pacific Northwest yesterday. They were just announced as the best concert venue, but I think they've won so many awards because of how the venue is built, and how the venue is just built for exactly what Madaraka Festival presented there. but they've never had an African festival there. They've never had an African artist headline any show there, and they've never seen the number of African people that we took there. So it was just beautiful. I took time. And I walked, in the queues as people were lining up to get in. I took time to interact with people before they got in the venue. I met people that I met when Madaraka first happened in Seattle in 2014, and it felt so good. It was a reminder that this needs to continue, so that our kids one day can actually be the ones doing it, can be the ones producing it, and we are just sitting there and enjoying it, because we need to do events that make us proud. Events that when we think about, we want to put on our best clothing and show up in a way that people know that today there's an African festival happening in downtown Seattle. That's really how that felt for me. But I feel like it's something we need to do consistently, and I'm just happy that you're willing to continue supporting in whatever way that you can.
Oh, very much. That was one of a kind, I can say. I don't think I have, I've never attended such a thing ever since I came to America. And I would like that to continue. You're really doing a great job, and I hope you continue making it happen for us Africans. I have never seen so many Africans in one place. It's so exciting. When you really don't appreciate like seeing Africans when you're in Africa than when you're here. It's a different kind of excitement.
100%. And definitely, here a lot of the time the Kenyans are in their own circles, the Ethiopians are in their own circles, the Nigerians, the Ghanaians. But Madaraka Festival brings us together, especially because you find that there's a Nigerian chef there, there's a Kenyan chef there, there's a Ugandan vendor selling something. So these communities, and also the artists are diverse. We had a Zimbabwean artist, Trinidad and Tobago artist. So you find that the African community from Africa, African Americans, the Caribbean, we all converge at Madaraka, and I've been very lucky and very privileged that over the last 9 years we've been able to keep that. And then this year we learned that there is actually demand for it across the country. So whether we were in New York, people turned up in large numbers and supported. In fact, New York was really an emotional show because we had postponed it, because there was a delay with Sauti Soul's, travel arrangements. So it was supposed to be the first show, but it ended up being one of the last shows. And I was extremely worried about it. So when it was sold out like a week before the event, I was like, wow, yeah, it felt great. And then even in the audience, there was a certain level of emotion. There are people who had been traveling with us from Atlanta to Dallas, from Dallas to Seattle, from Seattle to LA, and then from LA to New York. They used their own money and they went to the whole tour,
Wow.
Yeah, so it was like a caravan. It was like a Madaraka caravan, and I'm really excited to try and do that intentionally. This time it was just a few people, about 15 people. I saw them everywhere, and I felt like I need to know this person really well, because people don't just show up for you like that. Anyway, so I just first of all thank you, and thank you to the people who joined the caravan. This coming year we should create an intentional caravan where we know that this is how we are doing this, and we also bring people from back home, because right after Madaraka I went back home to Kenya, and the impact there was huge, so we need more people coming here to actually be a part of Madaraka. But I just want to now create space for you to talk about anything that we did not talk about, any question I did not ask you, any closing comments before we finish our time together.
Okay, what did we talk about? Wow, I can't believe the way I'm always a talker. I am now almost blank. I always have like something to say, but mm, I think something that we didn't touch on was what? Ah, wow. Woo.
It's it's
Uh,
it's all good. It's all good. Just the pause and the way you've taken time to think about it is also that thing, yeah.
yeah, but okay. Basically, I think also I did mention that I am a mom. So, uh, okay, currently I don't have my family here, and they're back in Africa, and actually that's one of the things that people have been asking me to talk about, and I plan to talk about on my channel, about like how it is like. And I know there's so many, people in America who have their kids back at home, and they just want to learn how to hack. There's no way, actually, there's no like a formula or a hack of how to do like a long distance parenting. It's just plain hard, to be honest. There's so many days I wake up and I feel like, wow, I just want to pack my bags and go, because when it comes to the immigration process, it can take a long time. So like for me, I've been waiting for my immigration process to go through for my kids for I think about 9 months. There are people who have been waiting even for like 10 years, and I'd actually consider myself lucky because I'm still able to at least leave the country and go and see them. And we all know how sometimes it can be hard for people who are not even able to leave the country. Oh, there was something that happened.
Yeah, it's that's AMP, this other app that we're using when
Oh, for
someone,
Amazon.
yeah, when someone comes, when someone joins, you hear that sound, just to
Uh,
notify, you as the host that someone is listening, uh,
oh,
but it's also very disrupting. I don't like that about the app. So
yeah, because I was like, okay, who is attacking us just suddenly?
yeah. Yeah, but I do appreciate what you're saying, though. It's hard to be a mom from a distance,
Mm,
and it's also incredible to think about how many people, especially in the African community, sacrifice being with family in order for them to actually earn a living and support their family back home. It's
exactly.
a big sacrifice, and there are things that we can't control, but there are things that we can control. And the
True.
U.S. immigration is one of those things that we can't control.
It's actually one of those things that is going to teach you so much patience. I'm usually a very impatient person, but ever since I started working with the immigration process, oh my God, it humbled me. I had to learn the art of patience, because it's not like in our country where you are able to go around it. You know what I mean? Like there's a way you can go behind things, or if you know someone, you can get things done. But here there's no shortcut. You just have to wait and follow a certain. So it's hard. Sometimes you feel like, okay, at the end of the day, I'm sacrificing this, I'm doing all this for them. That's how you just encourage yourself. But there's no how, because I think that's a question I get a lot. Like, how I mean, I want to go to, but I'm scared. What do I do? But there's no way around. It's just like, wait, why am I doing this? At the end of the day, I'm doing it for them. So, but
Yeah. And I think all of that is easy. The hardest part is explaining it to your children, because their little beautiful minds do not understand. They feel like their parents are the most powerful people they know. So they're like, who is that US immigration? Why can't you
yeah.
just.
So like my son, sometimes I'm talking to my son and he's like, Daddy said he's going to buy us the green card. Why is it not buying the green card yet? It's like he thinks he's going to the shop and give money and get there.
Yeah, it's it's
So
it's it's incredible. And one of the beauty of being a content creator is that you can talk about these things and your children can watch them too, because for me, the reason why I podcast, Monday to Friday, and I use these African proverbs is so that someone else does not tell my story. I tell it myself daily, and I talk about the things that are important to me, so that even if something happens to me one day, the content is out there. It can't be erased, and my daughters can easily watch and say, okay, this is how he looked, this is how he was thinking, this is how he laughed, this is how he talked about his struggle. So I feel
Yeah.
like a lot of people wait to write a book, a lot of people wait to make a movie, but these social media platforms can also be used in a way that you are archiving your story, and you do it in a way that is empowering to other people, especially your own children.
True, and actually, that's where now why the reason why I started being a creator, because I realized talking about my journey also, it's something that, when I tell my stories, when I tell my journey, it really encouraged someone, it enlightens some people on certain things that I talk about. If I'm talking about like health, it sometimes there are things people learn about health. If I'm talking about parenthood, there's something that you'll find that you can borrow from my journey. If I'm talking about like just the challenges and experiences I've been through, either you're going to get inspired, you're going to get encouraged, you're going to get motivated, because we are all battling through things, we are all going through things. And sometimes you could be going through something and you're thinking, oh, I'm just the only one going through this. But you see, sometimes I'll make content and someone will come to my DM and tell me, oh my God, you have no idea how you have made me feel. Like, if you went through this and this is where you are now, then I can make it. Because most of the
100%.
time with my platform, I always show like I have been through this. I'm never afraid of showing what my struggles are. Like, even when I came to America, I have shown a time where I went to a negative of negative 74, so that you just don't think, oh, you're in America, you the moment you alight the flight, you're just gonna be balling throughout. No, you're gonna have those seasons, and it's okay, and you can come out of it. So I show you, this is like what I've been through and what I did to come out of it.
It's incredible. It's incredible what you're saying, and I learned that from some of the biggest creators. Here in America, I learned that. For example, someone like Jeff Bezos, when Amazon was starting, he succeeded. He got most of the funding the day that he was about to shut down. Elon Musk, he got his investor on for Tesla, just a few days before he declared bankruptcy. So a lot of us, we give up when we are just about to succeed.
True, it's
Yeah,
true.
yeah, we give up when we're just about to succeed, and if we could just hold on a little longer, then what we've always dreamt about would happen before our eyes. And as human beings, we are ambitious. We always want big and great things, and if we are driven, like you're sharing with me earlier, your own story. Once you accomplish one big thing, like you made it to America, you got into nursing, you're now a creator, who knows what is coming next. So I just want to encourage you to continue on, and I want to thank our viewers and our listeners for joining us today. I see that Steven has made a comment there that he's joining us from Kisumu. Thank you so much. Nas Judy, we should have you back on the show. I know we have to wrap up now, but
Yeah.
I just want us to have you back. Can you share your YouTube channel one more time so that those who are here can actually go and subscribe?
Oh yeah, my YouTube channel is Nas Judy Kenya. Just Nas Judy and KE. It's actually Nas Judy KE. When you
Okay.
search that, it's just gonna pop up. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you watch the videos that I've put recently, and I have more coming. Actually, I'm uploading another one today, sharing my journey of how I came here, so that probably it can help someone way around it, to also, if you aspire to come here. And maybe my last remarks, I would. Just because we were just talking about how going through challenges, one of my things that I have come to learn, and I would like to leave that as my last remark to the audience, is always remember that I think it's always darkest before dawn. I have been in situations where I feel like I have made the worst mistake coming here, because you go through intense challenges. But I came to realize when I have gone through the most is when now like a breakthrough comes. So I'm constantly reminding myself, Judy, don't give up. It's darkest before dawn. So, and learn the art of patience. Keep doing, keep a positive mind, keep going. Sometimes, yes, like you might start something and it's not like, I'm sure like even the Madaraka festival, when you started, it just didn't pick up, like, oops, like that.
Yeah.
It was a process.
Yeah.
So most of the time we start something like I just started a YouTube channel and I want to be at 50K by tomorrow. It doesn't happen like that. It's
No.
consistently
Yeah.
keeping positive. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to sacrifice a lot, and a lot of people will laugh at you, and in fact people who are closest to you, you know, your friends will be like, oh, you know, you'll actually be alone as you are getting more subscribers, as your bank account is becoming bigger, you're losing more friends and more people that were around you when you are willing to tolerate nonsense are just going to go away, you know. So I was learning this. I always pay attention to the stories of successful people, and I try to understand how did they make it there, but how do they really feel about their success? Like, how are they dealing with the loneliness that comes with, you know, you have to concentrate on the work, and the more you concentrate, the more time you need, and the more no's you have to say no to so many people in order for you to be able to say yes to your calling and your vision. And that's what I'm learning, that some of the most successful people, they work a lot. You know, some people will come out here and tell you work-life balance and things like that, and this I think you should know yourself, you know. And for me, I just believe in hard work, you know, extreme hard work, you know. That's why I have guests that don't show up for this show because it's too early for them, and I'm okay with that, you know.
It's a, trust me, I respect you for making that early to come to your show.
Yeah, but the thing that is beautiful about this show is, while many people in the west coast of the US think it's early, it's 9 a.m. in the morning in the east coast, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 4 o'clock in Kenya, you know, 4 p.m. in the afternoon. It's 2 p.m. in London, you know, it's 3 p.m. in Ghana and West Africa. So what might feel like early is midday somewhere, and people are actually doing well. So, and the thing is, YouTube is in all these places, Facebook is in all these places. So over time, people get to you know, I have people who text me that, hey, why are you not live today, you know? And I tell them, oh, today I just decided to take a break. Then they were like, why didn't you tell me? They're holding you accountable, but they're not even paying you, you know. And they're not even a subscriber, you know. And then they ask you, so what is the proverb for the day, you know? After you've told them, no, today my daughter was sick, I needed to take a break, you know. And they're like, okay, just tell me the proverb for the day, you know. So then you find a proverb and just send them. Then they're like, thank you. Then they leave you alone. So it's really a commitment that people who see the value in what we are doing, they just want to come back, you know. And it might just be that one person. And that's the one person that when you're doing Madaraka Festival and you talk about it on the show, they will tell you that, hey, by the way, you know, I work at Boeing and I want to connect you so that Boeing sponsors the event. You know, a lot of people ask me, how are you getting all these sponsors? You know, it's through small things that I do for people, through small problems that I solve for people, that then people commit to helping me solve a bigger problem, you know. Yeah, anyway, we should end because it looks like now we are not going to end. So
I know we can talk and talk for days.
yeah, we'll talk again soon, you know. Just use the same link, book another time for us to get together. And I just appreciate you. Keep up the good work, and to our viewers and listeners. Thank you so much for supporting. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. I'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place, same vibration. Take care, Nas Judy. Bye.
Thank you so much.
African father in America. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. African father in America. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. You are listening to African Father in America podcast by Simon Javan Okelo, live from